So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Actually, not good morning, grand rising. Uh, I am starting a new page here in order to, what's the word I'm looking for? To try to share some of my experiences in this awakening that I've been going through, this ascension. So recently in my downloads, I've been uh, told that I need to share um, what I've been going through in order to attempt to try to help somebody that is either uh, in the process of going through what I went through already, or um, to know what happened, to know what I did in order to get through when it does become apparent to them, and or to receive feedback and or help for somebody that's been through what I'm going through now so that I can get guidance as well. So, but this particular snippet is about the dark night of the soul. Is what would I call it. I'm going to read what I wrote about it in hopes that it would help somebody else. Is what my understanding of it is. Um, Actually, it was recognizing that in order to have, I needed balance. You have to have balance in order to survive. Balance, balance is all around us. You have a black and white, stop and go, red and green, up and down, impossible, possible, and on and on and on. There's so many things that show that balance is what makes everything um, flow. So, speaking about balance, okay, so the dark night of the soul, um, I talk about being of or in the light. Well, for balance, there must be a dark side to balance out of the light, if you will, to balance out the light, if you will. An example, imagine if you were always giving with no boundaries. I don't believe you can achieve balance in that state because your main purpose would be to serve others and not take care of yourself. Whereas I believe you can't pour into someone else's cup if your cup is empty. And to replenish your cup or raise your frequency, you can pray, ground, or meditation. That's what works for me. You must take excuse me, you must take care of yourself in order to be a good steward of the blessings that God gives you. But let me get back on track. Dark night of the soul allows you to explore, examine, and become familiar with your shadow side. This has to be done truthfully between myself and myself. I believe everyone has a shadow side. The trick is to learn to understand and integrate it, make friends with it, if you will. Then, only then was I able to see them for what they are, as wounds, mostly generated by fear rather than truths that hold you back. I have to hold the tension between the two opposites to achieve balance. So when my shadow side rears its head, I can find reason and truth using the light as a balance. Consider how two things can exist at once in the same place. Integration between opposites is achievable. I have to be willing to hold both and not resort to either fully. Not black or white, but gray. For me, my integrated shadow side is there to protect my light side. One of my affirmations is I recognize that I have chosen fear, and with my free will, I change my choice and choose to see through the eyes of love. Okay, so again, these are get these cards out of the way. These are just snippets of things that I have a whole book of the stuff that I write down. Sometimes I'll be sleeping and I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be inclined to write something down. sayings and motivations and affirmations and realizations and messages. Either it's weird. First and foremost, let me say that I am not perfect. I'm human. My life hasn't always been as it is now. Um, I'm going to get into that later on down the line, but to say that things aren't as I thought that they were, and there's a lot of people that are still asleep. Um, there are things that 10 years ago I would have never believed. Some of the things that I've seen, experienced, um, and I'll tell you from the beginning, I was scared. When it first started, I was afraid, but I had faith and trust. And I've always had faith and trust. I've always um, had faith and trust that there was something greater than me. Um, I just didn't know the extent of the influence. And since I've been awakened, or since I started my ascension, as I'll say, I my eyes are open to the world, to a lot of different things that my eyes weren't open to before. People, energies, frequency, balance, history, communication. Um, I can go on and on. There's things aren't what they seem, and I mean, I had to question myself a lot of times on what's am I going crazy? You know, what's really going on? Um, but again, like I say, my downloads. If you know, you know. When I say downloads, uh, how can I explain? Guidance, messages um, of the past, present, and the future. Um, from my I choose to call God. I don't want to throw people off by the mention of God, but I have a thing that yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Even if we can't agree on who it is or what it is or why it made us or where it came from or how it did it, I think we can all agree that something did, something, something did. So that being said, that there is a creator, whether you're Buddhist, Muslim, Catholic, Christian, Protestant, Jehovah Witness, whatever faction that you're from. At the end of the day, we can all agree that there's something that created everything. Okay, so even atheist, somebody that doesn't believe in God. Okay, so that being said, that's fine. 12:21 on the clock. Um, it's mirrored. We'll get into that, but even as an atheist, okay, logically, if you just want to go off of logic and science, okay, out of you figure we're on planet Earth. What that looks like is debatable, but we are on a planet, and I just can't logically I cannot believe that out of all the planets in all the universes in all of space and time that we're the only planet that has intelligent life or life in general. Um, uh, and that would be a massive egos ego would be in that. That would be that's it. Just doesn't make any sense. Okay, and then and even if which I don't believe it is, but even if that were true, um, you still, okay, so you can't tell me that out of thin air, all this, everything just became on its own with no, that, I'm sorry, but that just doesn't make, it's not logical to me. But that's me. That's the, keep in mind too that my my posts are my opinion. If you resonate with them, it's all good. If you don't, that's fine too. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own free will. Okay, uh, a little bit back into the dark night of the soul, how I thought about it, and um, I think about the things that I've been through in my life, and I say it's like a piece of the puzzle. I have so much stuff here written down that it's crazy. But this is going to be like my first post. One circumstance does not define one's potential, and that if you amplify the frequency, the structure of matter will change. Um, I believe that we are here. Frequency is why is the whole reason why I'm here. Is the frequency. My particular mission um, is to help raise the frequency. When okay, so for me, I believe that we're in a matrix. We're in a simulated, oh man, environment. We're in an environment to where things are already predestined. We're in a matrix in order to perform, in order to do the things that we're programmed to do. When you look back at Tartarian, look up Tartarian if you get a chance. The culture that was, I believe, 1800s. If you look at the first World's Fair, I believe it was in the East someplace. But the architecture, the building, and then at that point, there was a giant mudslide that supposedly buried everything. And a lot of the towns and cities, bigger towns, there's a lot of underground. And there were structures that were here before, but that's another big old whatever. Anyways, but I believe that frequency is a main. What's the word I'm looking for? Frequency is a. Everything has a frequency. So that being said, the frequency that you hold is the frequency that you become. As you think, so shall you be. So, and you can see it. Device power. One turn on the device. If the power is not turned on, you can see it. Connection or select the connection guide. Connection guide. You can see it in if frequency. Okay, so you have to raise your frequency. If your frequency is low, you want to attract low. You're going to attract low frequency vibrations, which can be drugs or vices, or it's easier for the negativity, the evil, the dark side, the shadow side to come in if your frequency is low. Your frequency is high. A lower frequency cannot attack a high frequency. So my job is to continuously try to raise my frequency. The more I raise my frequency, I ascend higher. The higher I go towards heaven, God, like, what would Jesus do? That type of thing. The lower the frequency, the easier it is for the negativity, the evil to come in. So you have to be able to achieve that balance. The balance between the light and the dark, balance is in the middle, it, two living together, um, uh, and to project the light. Me, I believe I'm chosen. I believe I'm a light worker or an earth angel, as you will. And the reason I say that is not out of it's not out of pompous. It's not out of bragging. It's not out of anything like that. It's humble. I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to shed light rather than dark. There's so much darkness in the world right now. It's taking over, and again, I'll go back to the frequency. So right now, it's starting to the frequency is starting to raise because more people are waking up. Um, but as it is, if you go from, I mean, from the entertainment, the TV, the wars, the arguments, the all of it is so negative. It's so low vibe, low frequency. So you have people who are waking up, like myself, um, uh, and trying to raise the frequency in order to combat the negativity. The higher the frequency, the lower frequency can't reach it. So if most of the people in the world are raising the frequency, everyone, there won't be, I mean, they don't want to make me the president. I mean, the there wouldn't be any there's no homeless people. Nobody's hungry. You know what I mean? Everybody has medical. You know what I mean? It's just from a human being standpoint. You know, all the brainwashing that has been going on. Um, what I consider to be brainwashing. I mean, you're programmed. We're programmed to be sheep. We're programmed to be sheep. We're programmed to from children. We go to school for 6 to 8 hours, and you're trained to conform to the rules of that particular establishment, and you do that. So then that's from kindergarten, and then you go to junior high school, and then you go to high school, and then you go to college, and then after college you go to work. You're already programmed. You've been programmed since you were 6 years old that you have to devote a certain amount of time to be able to live or survive. And I don't think I just if you know, you know. This is my first live. I'm trying to figure out how to work this thing out. But I'm gonna go ahead and close it for now, and I'm gonna come back later. I just want to see if this went through or not. Let's